Just
Drop the mic.
if I can just add to that though, anyone who's interested in the experience that I had with the Truth Movement and that Tim, the so-called Truth Movement that Tim had, we had an impromptu chat. I don't know what, 3 months ago, Tim, 4 months ago.
Now, the first thing you have to notice about his voice is that it's very measured and rhythmic. He's obviously been trained in how to, because even I, who know these tricks, sometimes when I'm listening to John LeBon, and I do it very rarely, trust me, I can't stand it, but sometimes the you find yourself almost daydreaming, like you're not even listening to what he's saying. You're distracted in some way because he's been trained to put this rhythm into his speaking style that just detracts from your critical thinking skills in the moment. Um, we'll play it further.
And we discussed it, right? And Tim, obviously, I'm not going to speak for him, but just from what he just said there, it sounds like he felt.
You see the measure in there, just from what he said, like there, blah 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 blah. It's very measured and tonal. I mean, he's obviously been trained.
Aggrieved by misleaders, deceivers, intentional or otherwise, with the flat Earth stuff. That's how I felt about the so-called Truth Movement and what they were doing. And it's very easy for people, and this includes me.
See, here he's establishing rapport, right? He's saying, yes, I'm one of you. Even I have been subjected to this, and even, I went through the Truth Movement. And then he's going to, establish that bond of trust with you by saying the same thing that you've experienced.
To get sucked into thinking that this guy on YouTube is actually trying to do what he's doing because he has the same values as me, because he's trying to make the world a better place, right? And then we start to overlook their flaws. And I made that mistake. Tim has made that mistake. I think most of the audience, if they're being honest, at one point they've made that mistake.
Again, establishing more trust.
And I think for me, it's just a matter of, well, if I was dumb enough to make that mistake, then anyone's dumb enough. So why not every now and then try and make a video or point out, hey, this person just lied to you, or this person just changed their story, or this person just asked for money for something that they've asked for money for before, and last time they didn't do what they said they were going to do. So do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to change any one person's mind, but it's almost like once you've been conned, you either walk away like a coward, or you say, you know what, I'm going to try and help others learn from my mistake. That's how I see it.
Mm. That's a good point, man.
And I think,
and then sometimes Timmy trolls me on my channel, and I think he's lost the plot again. So we're not on the same side, guys.
Well, you guys
going back to heliocentrism, Timmy. Like, I reckon you are trolling. I reckon you're trolling when you claim to believe in dinosaurs and heliocentrism, dude. Like, I'm not trying to get into an argument about it.
Well, you know what? Do you listen to Jay Dyer, bro?
And here it comes.
Yeah, I think Jay Dyer is fantastic, man. Jay Dyer, I think, is head and shoulders above the rest right now, yeah.
Jay Dyer is head and shoulders above the rest right now. So you see, it's very interesting how this entire network of fakery analysts are very supportive of Jay Dyer. And of course, friend of this channel, Jay Dyer, just recently came out with a video, or I guess it was an essay, where he said Trump is legit, and it fully endorsed an obvious puppet that is just an actor playing his role in the soap opera that is politics. And so you see what they do, right? John LeBon, this is the very definition of controlled opposition, right? He's saying some very true things. He's empathizing with you, like, yeah, I've been through this too. I know there's all these liars in the Truth Movement and con artists and frauds. And of course, John LeBon would deflect and say there are no paid agents, right? Yeah, give me a break. But so he's establishing that trying to establish that trust with you, and then he's also calling out you'll hear him calling out the alternative media all the time. Yeah, oh, the alternative media is bullshit. I think he even does that a little bit coming up. And then what do? Oh, they spin you right back into the web and say, oh yeah, you need to listen to Jay Dyer because he's the best around. You see, that's what controlled opposition does. They give you a little truth. They're marketers, right? They're seizing on a sentiment in the market, which is a lot of people are understanding that the Truth Movement was created from its beginning to merge into what it is now, the alt-right, and it's in mainstream news at this point. I mean, everyone's talking. Do you see what they did? I'm not going to talk about it so much right now. That's just a little bit of a teaser because I'm going to do a whole video on this, and it should be by next weekend, about what has happened. I'm going to break it down from the beginning to the end. But this is just kind of zooming right into a specific issue of what they do.
Yeah, I agree too. Actually, anybody that's listening, go look at Jay Dyer's work. Go listen to somebody that could be what you're looking for in the so-called truth community.
Could be what you're looking for, huh? Jay Dyer, that's where it's at.
Somebody that is philosophically minded, but also...
Now, what's interesting, when you listen to Tim describe Jay Dyer here, this is his brand, right? This is the brand that they have created for him, the persona, and everything that he does is designed to reinforce that brand. It's so simple. It's marketing. That's how they market personalities. It's the same thing if you go to all these huge YouTube channels. You know, if you look at the people who are making a living on YouTube in totally different disciplines that are unrelated to the truth, right? These personas in the truth movement use the same strategy. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen like vegans that are making a living just spouting nonsense, you know, to their audience. They get in fights with each other because it creates buzz, and as they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity, right?
Objective about trying to get to the truth, not just, you know, getting views or, you know, auto hoaxing everything for views.
Not just getting views or auto hoaxing, yeah,
views or anything like that. And he even, I think yesterday, had a debate where he brought up the dino hoax, which was funny because it was statism versus anarcho-capitalism.
Oh, and of course, he's talking about that debate that Jay Dyer had with Adam Kokesh. I mean, give me a break. If you really know what's going on, you're going to do a debate with Adam Kokesh? My goodness, what a joke. But you can see here what Tim's going to do is he's setting up this sort of like hero worship mentality where, oh, if Jay says it, if this is the best that's around and he says it, well, then now I'll consider it in regards to this dinosaur shit that they're talking about.
And he didn't say anything about statism, but yeah, he's talking about dino hoax. So, you know, that leads a little credence to me. But you know what? Knowing me, I'll go anywhere to go find the truth, dude. I'll go where I need to go to find if there's actual dinosaurs. And I actually thought just the other night it was kind of a conspiracy. I just kind of...
See, and again, he says that he'll go anywhere to find it, but do they really do that? Do their actions support that? Because most of the time, the people who say that, you see, they say that because a real person would say that. A real person doing legitimate, open-minded investigation would say that. So they have to mimic it, you see.
Came into my mind, like, what if the dinosaur bones are actually like, you know, resemblance of like giants that actually lived, you know, that were in the Bible and stuff. So I don't know. I've heard one person tie that in, but
well, Timmy, if you want to go,
I don't think there's much evidence.
Dude, if you want to see the evidence or otherwise for dinosaurs, you need to jump on a plane, get out here to Brisbane, because in less than 2 weeks, man, I'm driving into the middle of Queensland to document the headquarters of dinosaurs in Australia, the capital, the epicenter of dinosaurs. And I think there's a lot of fakery going on. And a bunch of my supporters have crowdfunded my trip out to go and document this.
Nice.
Okay. Oh, man. So, John LeBon's whole thing right now is exposing the hypocrisy of these flat earth charlatans who are trying to start this conference in Raleigh, North Carolina, and charging all this money for it, and trying to get this funded and that funded, and they all have their accounts. Meanwhile, after he said all that and criticized the alternative media, now he says, oh yeah, by the way, I just had a trip crowdfunded to go check out the dinosaur museum. Like, oh, I see. So it's okay. It's okay when you're doing it, but it's not okay when they're doing it, because he'll criticize like what they asked money for, a balloon experiment that's never going to prove the flat earth one way or the other. And of course, this little trip he's taking and the video he'll make about it is never going to prove anything about whether dinosaurs exist or not. So he's a total hypocrite. And what they hope is by saying the stuff about the alternative media and then pointing out the easily exposed flat earth charlatans, that you're going to establish a little bit of trust with this personality, and ignore such blatant hypocritical philosophy and action.
To make a